The sound that MotoGP fans have known for 15 years is about to change forever. The screaming, howling, 1000cc four-cylinder engine that has defined the Premier class since 2012, the soundtrack to every Marc Marquez victory, every Valentino Rossi farewell lap, every heart-stopping save at 360 km/h, is being retired. In its place, a new engine, smaller, lighter, 850 cubic centimeters. And this week, Honda became only the second manufacturer in the world to show us what the future of MotoGP looks and sounds like on a real racetrack. The 2027 era has already begun, and the reigning world champion has already told us exactly what he thinks about it, including a prediction so counterintuitive that it stopped the paddock in its tracks. I'm Seb, owner of this channel. MotoGP is my obsession, and every script you hear is written and researched by me. If you feel the same way, hit subscribe, and let's enjoy this sport together. Let's start with why this is happening. MotoGP bikes have become almost incomprehensibly fast. The combination of aerodynamic downforce, ride height devices, and increasingly powerful engines has pushed top speeds at certain circuits close to 360 km/h on tracks designed decades ago for bikes traveling at 280. Marquez put it in the most direct terms possible. On many circuits, we were reaching speeds close to 360 km/h. This speed is unnecessary for the show and greatly increases the risk. We need big runoff areas, because if something goes wrong, the wall starts to look closer. That last image, the wall looking closer, is not a figure of speech. It is a genuine warning from the most experienced rider in the sport, and MotoGP listened. The three pillars of the 2027 regulation overhaul are locked. Engine displacement drops from 1000cc to 850cc, with maximum cylinder bore reduced from 81 to 75 mm, limiting peak power while keeping revs broadly similar. Each rider receives fewer engines, 6 for a calendar of 20 races. Ride height devices are completely banned, forcing every manufacturer to rebuild their chassis philosophy from scratch. Aerodynamics are significantly restricted, with wing size and downforce generation limited in ways that will make the bikes look visibly different from anything in the current era. And the biggest tire revolution in 20 years arrives simultaneously, Pirelli replacing Michelin as sole supplier, bringing compounds no manufacturer has yet fully mapped. The fuel changes complete the picture tank capacity, drops from 22 to 20 liters, and from 2027, every drop of fuel will come from 100% sustainable sources. Former MotoGP rider and FIM safety chief Loris Capirossi has predicted the new prototypes will be approximately 2.5 seconds per lap slower, and fan reaction has been broadly accepting, with most supporters saying they care far less about raw lap time than the quality of the racing those lap times produce. Now here is the Marquez prediction that has everybody talking. He supports the engine reduction completely, without reservation. And then he says this: "I think lap times at many circuits will be very similar or even faster because you have lower weight and horsepower, but better handling." The reigning world champion is predicting that 850cc bikes could actually be quicker around a lap than the 1000cc machines they are replacing. His reasoning is technically precise: smaller engine, lighter bike, better weight distribution, improved corner handling. The banning of ride height devices removes mechanical complexity that currently demands enormous physical effort from riders. Restricted aerodynamics reduce the tire loading that currently causes race pace degradation. Strip all of that away, and what remains, Marquez argues, is a motorcycle that corners better, changes direction faster, and allows the rider far more freedom to find the limit of grip. He was equally candid about the personal uncertainty the new regulations create even for him. Nobody can guarantee that you will have the best bike. There is no magic wand here. And, as a rider, I don't even know if I'll adapt faster than the others. That admission from a 9-time world champion is one of the most honest things any rider has said about the new era. He described the 2027 rider market as the most difficult of his entire career, We never change the rules like this. Nobody can promise you which will be the best bike you need to follow your instincts. And when asked how much he wants to stay at Ducati for 2027, his answer told you everything. For my side, I would say 8 out of 10. We are working to win, and all sides want that. Honda's 850cc machine made its track debut last December at Sepang, making Honda only the second manufacturer to put a 2027 spec prototype on a real racetrack, following KTM's landmark outing at Jerez in November. The test was conducted by factory test rider Takaaki Nakagami on a modified RC213V fitted with the new engine, simplified aerodynamics, no ride height devices, and critically, Pirelli's prototype 2027 tire compounds, making it the first Honda MotoGP machine in history to run on Pirelli rubber. Heavy rain at Sepang limited dry running significantly, but the program was alive. And this week, Honda released the first footage of that test publicly, giving the MotoGP world its first proper look and sound at what 850cc will mean in practice. Nakagami's first words from the pit lane were 3 short sentences that said more than any engineering presentation could. The first impression is super light. I was a bit surprised in these conditions. Yeah, quite nice. The structural plan at Honda for managing 2026 and 2027 simultaneously is clear. Nakagami leads development of the 2027 prototype in the opening months of the season. Alex Espargaro focuses on extracting every last tenth from the current RC213V before the 1000cc era ends. Taka will take care of the 850cc and the Pirellis the first 3 months of the year. Espargaro confirmed, adding he will take over the 2027 program midway through the season once the prototype reaches a more advanced stage. KTM, as the first manufacturer on track with a 2027 prototype, has the earliest data. Motorsport boss Pit Bearer described test riders Pol Espargaro and Dani Pedrosa as having enormous fun at Jerez, with initial lap times described as very impressive. Ducati and Aprilia, the 2 manufacturers that currently dominate, are aiming for a spring debut of their 850cc prototypes. 2 Pirelli-specific tests, involving all full-time race riders, are planned for June and September, giving every manufacturer their first competitive program with 2027 spec rubber. And that is where the most fascinating strategic dimension sits. Ducati built their current dynasty on the ride height devices being banned for 2027, on the aerodynamic philosophy being restricted. On the seamless electronics integration, the new regulations will force everyone to rethink. Gigi Dall'Igna acknowledged as much at the season launch, saying the new rules were designed to prevent manufacturers from inventing something strange, essentially confirming that Ducati have been inventing strange and brilliant things for 5 consecutive championship seasons, and the sport has now closed that particular door. Ducati CEO Claudio Domenicali chose his words carefully. For 2027, the bikes will be completely new, and the competition department is working hard to put a machine on track that is at the appropriate level. Not the dominant machine, the appropriate level. For a manufacturer that has not lost a Riders' Championship since 2021, that is careful language. And sitting at the center of the most intriguing individual story of the entire 2027 narrative is Fabio Quartararo, almost certainly heading to Honda, bringing his technical expertise to a manufacturer that is simultaneously rebuilding its current bike and designing the next one. If the Honda 850cc prototype that Nakagami described as super light is even half as competitive at the start of 2027 as the early signs suggest, and if Quartararo's input shapes its development direction in the second half of this year, then the manufacturer that has suffered most in the current era may be the one best positioned to exploit the reset. That is not a guarantee, it is not even a prediction. It is the most compelling what-if that MotoGP's next chapter has produced so far. And based on the footage released this week, that 850cc engine, lighter and sharper than anything the current grid produces, It is a what if that is going to be answered very soon. What do you think? Is Marquez right that the 850cc machines will post similar or faster lap times than the current 1000cc bikes? Does Honda's early prototype running give them a genuine advantage heading into 2027? Or does Ducati's engineering depth mean Borgo Panigale will arrive first when it matters? And which manufacturer has the most to gain from the 2027 reset, and which has the most to lose? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more MotoGP news. I'll catch you in the next one.